First day of September. I love September. I hate it actually because it's, winter is coming. But hey, weather's still nice to have you, and you're here with me today, so I appreciate that. But what else are you gonna do on Labor Day? You're gonna have a picnic, barbecue later on, but hey, tune in here. But hey, I have got a really incredible guest for you today. You're gonna love this one, but we're gonna get there in a minute. But I was reading a book about anti-gravity. I just couldn't put it down. And I had plans to read a book on sinkholes, but those plans fell through. You didn't like that? Okay, but no. I love to read. I really do. My wife will tell you, it drives her nuts. And actually, there was a girl I was going out with. I really kind of liked her some years ago. But she was irritated at the fact that I read all the time. She wasn't a reader, and she just got really upset with me. And finally, she said, look, it's either me or books. And I think about her sometimes when I buy new books. Well, I liked it. Okay, well, hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Mike, Maddog Magnotti, I've got a very, very interesting show for you today. I got a very interesting guest, so you stick around. We will be right back.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbiss here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today, 509-663-7900.
At the Siren Song Vineyard Estate Winery and Restaurant on the south shore of Lake Chelan, you'll discover a variety of handcrafted wines and a European-inspired menu. Join us for live music, private events and weddings, cooking classes, and more. Sip, dine, and take in the stunning views of Lake Chelan at Siren Song. Visit sirensongwines.com for hours and event information. Everyone has a siren song. What's yours?
Wowee! Collins Fashions has all your needs for summer events. Cool tanks and tees, Bermudas, skirts, capris, ankle pants, embellished jeans, pretty sundresses. And ladies, we have amazing special occasion dresses for your weddings and cruises. All washable in many flattering styles and colors. Collins has over 100 different styles of sandals and shoes for your lifestyle. Tommy Bahama for men and women is in stock and we can special order just for you. Come in soon to your Brighton headquarters where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Okay, we are back. We're talking other stuff now. I got to introduce this guest. This is Eleanor Deckert. Eleanor,
hello.
Nice to have you. Shake my hand. There you go.
I'm saying hello to all the people.
Eleanor is my cousin.
Hello.
Okay, my first cousin. And look at all this anal stuff. She's make sure she gets it out. I want to point out that she's my cousin from my German side of the family.
Yes.
Okay. So it's nice to see you.
I'm so happy to be here.
You are we're like one of 36 first cousins that we have.
This is true.
And this is just on our mom's side of the family.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's more and more.
Yeah. Eleanor's sister Betty, Mom Betty's sister Betty, was my mom's younger sister. So.
Yes.
But the reason I had you on here today is because you're an author.
Yes.
You've been here to Wenatchee a number of times. You have a book signing coming up
on Saturday, September 7th.
Okay.
At Encouraging Words.
Okay, so that's this Saturday.
Yes.
It's coming up Saturday.
That's right.
Okay. And we all know where Encouraging Words is, South Wenatchee Avenue. If you don't know where it is, you can email me, maddog at NWI.net. I'll let you know. Just wanted to go there. And what time is the
Or
book
you
signing?
can Google encouraging words.
Yes, you could. Exactly. Right.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll probably be there early, and I'll probably stay late,
Okay.
but those are the official times.
And I want you to notice she just demonstrated a trait of the women on the German side of my family. She told me what to do and told me I was wrong. She corrected me. That a girl, because I need it, you know. Rosie's home watching. Yeah, Eleanor, you tell me. Keep it in mind. All right, but look, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the books and stuff.
Okay.
Just, you know, a little personal background. that kind
So
of stuff.
all of these books are about myself because these are all memoirs. So I don't have to answer any of your questions. Just go read the book, Michael.
Okay, well, thanks for being here
That's
today.
right.
Eleanor, thanks for being our guest.
So I was born in Pennsylvania. My dad had property in Colorado, so we went there as soon as we could. I was about
Actually,
5.
I remember coming and staying with you guys
Yes,
once in
right,
Pennsylvania, yeah.
right looking at Pikes Peak from our house. Pikes Peak was actually my first idea about God. He
Really?
can see you all the time, he can hear you all the time. That's not creepy, it's just like Pikes Peak. No matter where you go, you can see Pikes Peak. You can also go to the top of Pikes Peak and look back down at your house and your school and where you go. And so it's kind of like, that's not scary. I can take a God like that sees you all
Oh,
the time.
okay, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's my
interesting.
first idea when I was 5 years old. I'm not sure how much farther I've come in my theological development. So then we moved to Florida for 1 year and then Ontario. So I moved to Canada when I was 11, and which is 50 years ago right now.
Yeah, wow.
That's staggering. I just told you how old I am. My dad is a university professor, so we moved there because we could participate in a church community. So I lived in a church community for 10 years, which
Yeah.
of course impacts your life a lot. But I met my
imagine.
husband at public school in high school, and we both had the idea to go out west and live in a log cabin. We had to go and build it ourselves, so that's what we did.
Yeah, and your husband was Canadian, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now this idea about living out in the mountains
Yes.
in a log cabin, this was something you had since you were a little girl.
I was really small. So when we always were going to Colorado, my dad talking like that, and it was a very beautiful property. And we lived in a 3-room cabin when we first got there. And so I was in grade 1 and grade 2, and then Daddy built a real house. But that was the year in grade 3 that my teacher read Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls
okay.
Wilder.
All right.
And the very last page, I realize now that I'm an adult, when you're in 3rd grade, you don't see everything that's making strong impacts on you. The very last page, Pa's playing the fiddle, and Laura asks him, what does Old Lang Syne mean? And he says, it means a long time ago. And the very last sentence in Little House in the Big Woods is Laura, who's 7 going on 8, which is how old we are in grade 3. She says, this is now. It can never be a long time ago. And that was 1865-ish. Now it's 1965.
Sure.
And even though I'm 7 going on 8, children don't really have a concept that my mother was ever a baby and there was a long, the whole feeling
Your
of
mother?
time.
My mother was a baby.
I know. But I did know that today would be a long time ago because we had moved from Pennsylvania to Colorado. We had this new house. My mother just had a little baby, one of her cousins.
Right.
And it was right when the Kennedy assassination happened. So I knew that besides in our family, there was a long time ago, and then going into the future, there's also for everyone this idea of before the assassination, the day it happened, and afterwards. And that makes an impact on anybody that was alive at that time.
Yeah, for sure. That is a defining moment in all of our generation.
And that's right. And so then Laura is writing everyday things. She's not writing about bad guys and scary stuff. She's writing what actually happened. So I thought, well, what if I wrote about what actually happened? Although the funny part is, in 1965, I thought, I don't really see what new is going to happen. We have washing machines, we have cars, we have television. There's nothing really going to happen, but I'll just pay attention in case something comes up. But I did pay attention to the decisions that were being made in my family and the family dynamics, and like as we moved, why we were moving. And the religion that was part of this church community was emphasized your own self-examination and your own motives, your own purpose for doing things. So that's what I was paying attention to from a very young age.
Oh, cool. Okay, but this idea to live in the world that these books actually are the product of, that began back when you were young, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So then when I thought about getting married, because that's what girls do, I was growing up before the Equal Rights Amendment and all that.
I got married.
Two people get married. So I had this.
Why do I have to put up with this sexism?
So as I got to know the person who became my husband, we both sort of had this dream about doing it yourself. So why be in debt for your house when you can build it yourself?
right, okay.
Why drive over to the grocery store to get potatoes? Potatoes grow. You plant them, they grow.
So a lot of your ideas, he shared them as well.
Well,
okay?
he was the practical person. I just had the dream.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be nice to live in a log cabin in the woods? It would be so peaceful and quiet. Well, he knew about the tools.
Yeah.
He knew how to use them. He knew how to make a chimney, how to make a fire. I had never made a fire.
Okay, all right.
I'm pretty raw, new,
Yeah.
starting out in all this.
Yeah, but you know how now, right?
I know how now.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. So how did this progress? I mean, you meet, and I'm sorry, I forgot your husband's name. I know
Kevin.
Kevin. No, I met him.
Yes.
And you know, this guy really impressed me when I met him. He was talking about hunting, and he said once he killed a bear that was charging at him. And I said, with what? You know, I thought maybe he had a cannon. He said, no, I had a 30, you know. I was impressed. You know, oh, wow.
We were vegetarians the first meat we ate was bear meat.
Yeah, how was it?
It's good. I like bear meat.
Okay, all right.
Yes, it was rather shocking to cut it up. It looks very human.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yes, it was rather scary to
once
cut
you
it
get
up.
the skin off.
Yes.
Okay, now you got some pictures to show us,
Yes.
though, and I don't know if you want to go through them now
Yes, sure.
to describe what the process
Yes,
was.
certainly.
But okay, Caitlin, you want to? Which one?
So,
oh, look
this-
at her!
I know.
She's almost as cute as she is now.
20 years old. We were married at 20, and this is the wedding rehearsal dinner. I said, Daddy, take a picture of me right now. It's going on the cover of my book, which it is.
Okay, and you told him that before
I
you
told him
even
that. I
wrote
said, take a
about it,
picture of
right?
me right now. It's going on the cover of my book.
Okay,
Yes.
so you had the idea from reading The Little House in the
Yes.
Woods that you were going to be an author as well.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't write about new stuff because nothing new was going to happen.
Nothing new is going to happen. So we had outfitted our Volkswagen van while we were engaged, and we left shortly after our wedding, and we just drove out west. Literally, I was looking out the window saying, stop now, stop now. Of course, first, Ontario is all forest and lakes.
Sure.
Then the 3 prairie provinces are so flat.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to British Columbia, and the mountains start up similarly to how the prairies meet in Colorado. We took a left at Kamloops and went through more grassland. We went farther to the coast, which was all
So you
ferns
didn't know
and
specifically
moss.
where you
No,
were going
not
yet,
at
really?
all.
Oh, okay,
Ferns
that's
and
cool.
moss and Devil's Club, and then we came down
So
around.
this was your honeymoon driving
This was
in.
that's right, and
how
being homeless
romantic.
and traveling on. We had $1,000 that my parents gave us as a wedding gift to put down as a down payment on land, and so we came around the top of BC and found. We had an advertisement in a magazine that said, we're coming out west, we want to make a log cabin.
Yeah.
And this other lady had a letter to the editor that said, all these people that want to go back to the land, they said back to the land. Now people say off-grid.
Right.
She said in her letter, she said, there are so many homesteads here that are empty that people have left.
Yeah.
So that's who we looked up, was this little old lady. She was really old, Mike. She was 52.
Oh my God, really?
So old.
Could she still talk?
I know. So the picture that was just shown is our cabin. Kevin built that all by himself in 4 months and $300. I was working as a waitress for $2.57 an hour at a restaurant that's still there. The town is called Avola, A-V-O-L-A. And you see
Did
the
he cut
logs.
the logs too?
Logs are
Really?
standing dead cedar after a previous forest fire. You can a little bit see the saplings behind. That's just
Yeah.
brand new
Yeah.
undergrowth growing back. I didn't believe anything the old timers were telling me in the restaurant. I was hearing all these stories. I didn't believe anything they said, but it was true. That was a forest fire. Now I see how long things last after. So it was free timber.
Right.
It was cedar, so it was lightweight. So Kevin had these tie tongs, and he would cut the tree and then measure it and drag it into place. After he built 3 high, he started to think, how am I going to do this alone, safely, and the trees are farther and farther away and taking
Sure.
longer and longer to drag.
Sure.
So that's where he got the idea of the uprights, and that's how he finished the cabin. And we moved in. So we moved in at the very end of December, and that's where the title comes from, 10 days in December.
Okay, show the cabin again, Caitlin, if you
All
would.
right.
I'm really impressed
He's
by
gonna
that.
ask
And-
questions.
Wow, okay, now how big is that?
This is 14 feet by 14 feet. Kevin measured it out with his boots.
All
So
right.
he dug 4 holes and put some of the cedar poles upright, and
Yeah.
it's just built on that. And then floor joists, and then the lumber, I paid for the lumber. That's where the $300 comes in for the floor and for the roof and the tar paper and the chimney.
Mm-hmm.
We scavengered the wood stove out of a very rotting log cabin
Yeah.
elsewhere.
And how big is the wood stove?
The wood stove is a cook stove.
Yeah,
So
right.
the dimensions of the firebox are about the same size as a shoebox.
Okay.
And we had no time to get firewood. and the firewood we had was the leftover cedar from these trees.
Right.
And cedar burns like that, and
Yeah.
it's about as warm as cardboard. So, and then you're turning it down. I have a little tiny wood stove here to show you, and from here to here, my kitchen cabinet, this is me standing here, the water, I'm getting ahead of myself. You have to ask that question later. So in the 10 days that we first moved in, December 22nd, I'm so happy. I have the best husband. My dreams are coming true. It's all perfect. For $2.57 an hour, our house is paid for.
Yeah.
This is it. We were melting snow for water. And
you own the property it was on?
Well, we were sharing property with other people, but yes, the down payment was enough, yes. So, but then Christmas Eve, we were given a radio. Kevin turned on the radio. I just start crying. I didn't know I was going to be that homesick ever. And
well, Christmas does that.
Well, the whole church community, being in the choir, having the children, all the traditions that are just there. So and then Christmas Day we went visiting. People were drinking beer on Christmas Day. I'm like, where am I? What world is this? Boxing Day, they came to visit us, and then
a better world, I hope.
and then
beer on Christmas.
The temperature just dropped to 40 below.
And I want you to hold it right there.
Yes.
Because we got to take a break.
Okay.
Okay, because I
40 below for 3 weeks.
I want to talk about that. Okay. But street talking other stuff. I'm talking with Eleanor Deckert, my first cousin on my mommy's side. Has had an incredible life. She's written about it in 4 books. The books will be on sale at Encouraging Words this Saturday from 11 to 2.
They're on the shelf already, but I'll be there signing. Yes.
But Eleanor's going to be there, and she will actually sign the books.
Yes.
For you. But hey, street talking other stuff. We got to take a break. Stick around. We will be right back. So.
Succession is leading the way for a new generation of Chelan wineries. Named Platinum Winemaker of the Year in 2017 and the one to watch in 2018 by Wine Press, Succession is setting the pace. Award-winning wines are just a part of the overall experience. Add live music on Sundays and fantastic views, and you have it all. Succession Wines, located on the North Shore of Lake Chelan between Chelan and Manson.
Some jobs are a calling. They take passion and a devotion to the community. They're here for your kids, guiding the next generation of leaders. At Giesa Credit Union, we help you support local teachers. Every purchase you make with a Giesa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select teacher organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Giesa Teachers Affinity debit card.
Hey friends, this is the Discovery Center at Rocky Reach Dam, where things look exactly like they did in the 1960s. Say cheese.
Turns out the way people learn has changed a lot since then.
Gee, Pop, that lecture was swell.
It's about time to create some new and exciting ways to interact with the story of the PUD and our valley. We'll be closed next year while we make some magic happen. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on the journey.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Okay, we're back. We're talking with Eleanor Deckert, my first cousin.
Hello, everyone.
And she has had a dream of living off the grid, as we would call it now, but out on the land back when we were younger.
Yes.
And we're at the point where she and her husband Kevin husband Kevin built a cabin.
Yes.
Did an incredible job, and you moved into the cabin you moved in January?
No, December.
December, okay.
December 21, I'm anticipating it. December 22 is the first night that we lived in.
Okay.
And so that's where I got the idea for the title. From the time that we moved in to the end of December is 10 days. So in 10 days in December, I can tell you my whole life story because I can tell you what I was thinking and feeling while those days were happening.
Okay, so you move into this cabin, and what happened?
December 28th, in one night, the temperature went from mild and okay, it's wintertime, there's snow, but it's not cold, to 40 below. Now, that was just in Canada where we were changing from Fahrenheit to Celsius, so I had no concept of what that was, but 20 below Celsius, 20 below Celsius is 0 Fahrenheit, which is cold, but it's not horrible. So I'm thinking maybe it's just a little bit more, but it's way down. Like there's no red in your thermometer. So 40 below, the floorboards have cracks in them, like in your deck. So at one point in the book, I do the math. If all those cracks were pushed together, it would make a window about that big. Again, we're heating with just a kitchen cooking stove, burning cedar mostly, keeping it turned down so that it would last a long time. It was like living in a walk-in freezer.
Yeah.
The radio said 3 weeks it was going to last, and it did.
You said you had to wake up throughout the course of the night
hour and a half
to keep feeding the stove.
Every hour and a half. And so part of the soul searching that then comes into the next couple of chapters is, were we crazy to do this? Because my dad thought we were crazy. People think you're crazy.
They were crazy.
Am I going to go crazy from this jolting?
I think she was going to go crazy.
So for 3 weeks I spend in the sleeping bag, getting up every hour and a half, as much as you can, covered up with everything you've got. Yeah, it was cold. It was so cold. It was terribly, awfully, horribly cold.
Was that when you began to question whether you were going to stay there or not?
Yes.
I mean, you must have really.
Yes.
Yeah.
So payday's coming, and okay, so first of all, the Volkswagen van doesn't start at all. It doesn't even, it doesn't do anything. Yeah. So we have to walk, and we have to hitchhike. I've never hitchhiked. I was very scared. And so we hitchhiked up to town, got the paycheck. My dad had sent a Christmas check, and Kevin's mom did too. And I had severance pay and holiday pay I wasn't expecting. So in the book it says there's $300. So the cashier counts out the $300, and I counted back. That's what my mom told me to do. And all of a sudden I realized, I don't have to stay here. I can buy a bus ticket. I just put this wedding ring on 6 months ago, and I promised forever. But you know what? I don't have to stay here. I don't actually have to stay. Yeah. But that would mean that Kevin has not a nickel.
Right.
And I'm walking away. So there's a lot of very fast sorting out what are your priorities. So as I'm writing this, I'm realizing that that's the value of this book. Yes, it's a log cabin story. Yes, it's a city girl coming to the country story. My faith journey is part of the struggle. But the whole thing is everybody has to make some of these decisions as you go along. Are you going to do the hard thing?
Yeah. And you went over that, ruminated that with yourself. Other people have been through hard things too. Can I survive this? And you said, Kevin said to you that, you can do what you want, but I'm staying.
That's right.
So.
Which I had to write very gently, because he wasn't saying, you can do what you want. He was saying, you need to do whatever you need to do.
Right.
But I live here. And in a way, Kevin still says that. I get to go on all these trips and promote my books and go where I need to go and be with my cousins and my mom and stuff. And so Kevin is very generous that way. But it was a strange feeling, because that would mean I'd take all the money and hitchhike out and get on a bus and go back.
Right.
So one of the other things I learned by writing this book is the same as our Oma and our Opa coming from the old country to North America. Right. What's behind you that you don't want anymore, and what's up ahead of you that's going to be worth it. So this is the story of every immigrant who goes anywhere and decides, or any person who leaves home or leaves the culture that they come from. I left my church. I left all the people I know. I left everything familiar because I thought something was better on the other side.
Sure.
Is it worth it for that struggle that comes when you're getting used to something that you don't know anything about?
And it was, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, you wouldn't want to go through it again, but you wouldn't change the experience, would you?
Right.
So.
Right, and I'm glad I married this person, and we've had a wonderful 40 years of marriage so far.
Great, good. Yeah, we're coming up, Rosie and I, 42 at the end of this month. So cool. Okay, describe the other 3 books.
So before I put book 1 on the front here, I thought, could I actually write more? Because I've always known I wanted to write this log cabin part, and I've been telling people forever. In January, the only thing that happened for 3 weeks is the wood stove every hour and a half. So am I really going to write page after page? So then we melted more snow, and then I got more kindling, and then I burned my fingers, and then I rubbed soot across my face, and then the potatoes were frozen. Is that really what I'm going to write about? So I thought about other things that have happened in my whole life. Yeah. So all the rest of my books, which I'm going to write all 12, have 1 chapter about the log cabin, but then other things that happened in that month in my life. And it just so happens the subtitle of the January book is 1 husband, 2 brothers, 3 sons, and 4 dads.
Right.
That adds up to 10.
Yeah.
So I started with
a million.
I start with my earliest childhood memories. In my family, how did my dad behave towards me, which gave me a not very good self-image. And so then how does that play out between my brothers and I as I select a husband, as I choose to be married, and as how I treat my sons, and how valuable these other dads are in my life, that I got a better view of myself and my own wonderful amazingness, because everybody has wonderful amazingness.
Oh, you are incredibly amazing.
But I was
You're scaring me to death with your amazingness over here. So.
Thanks, Michael, my cousin. So that's that book. There's I call this Bright and Dark Portraits of the Family, including myself. Not everything's perfect.
All right.
In February, I have...
What'd you say?
Pardon me?
Not everyone's perfect.
I said bright and dark portraits, including myself.
And then you said not everyone's perfect.
Not everyone's perfect.
That threw me off for a minute.
Oh, is that not what we say on this show?
No, I'm just being...
So in February, I have bouts of depression, different ways, different times, different amounts. So I thought, how can I write a book about depression, say, hi, Michael, I'd like $20, see you next year when I write my first book. So I decided to put February and March together, because March is where I've collected all of my volunteer stories, which of course is vitamins in my life.
Yeah.
In April, I had breast cancer treatments 4 years ago.
That's
my
right,
friend said, oh, you can write your April book. I said, that's not funny. I'm not writing about that. But as I'm progressing along, realizing that every chapter is a true story, the backstory leading up to it, and all the thought processes and struggles and faith journey and parts that you have to sort out and decide, then I thought, well, I do have the gift of words, obviously.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say that now, obviously. And so I did write about my breast cancer experience from the point of view of, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Is this,
Okay. What would you, all right, incredible journey.
Yes.
I mean, you've planned a life, you've lived it, and I think, and actually I said to someone the other day, they said, how's your life going? I said, you know, actually I'm living the life I wanted to.
Yes.
You're doing that.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What advice would you have for anyone else who's listening who might be thinking something similar? Not just a young girl somewhere out there, but anyone. What would you say?
I think the subtitle of the first one is Where Dreams Meet Reality. I think that having a dream is the most wonderful thing, and nobody will believe you, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And so is it worth the effort to do whatever it takes to be an athlete, to be a musician, to finish school, to move somewhere different, to be a photographer? When we were homeschooling, which is brought up in the January book with my children and will be most of the September book, I made sure that I took my children to places where someone was living their dream and doing what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
All varieties of people, but having that sense that I was made for a reason, and these are my gifts, and how am I going to spend them?
What would you
That's
say
so
to somebody?
exciting.
Well, we got to take a break, okay? But I got one more question to ask you before we go. But hey, Street Talk and other stuff. I'm talking with Eleanor Deckert, an incredible woman, okay? Very proud to say she's my cousin. She's going to have a book signing at Encouraging Words on South Wenatchee Avenue this Saturday from 11 to 2. We'll talk more about that. I'm going to remind you that one more time. But hey, quick break. We'll be right back. So.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors. We're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Okay, we're back, and I did want to have one last question for Eleanor, and that's this. This is a hard one. What would you say to somebody who doesn't know what they want, who doesn't have that dream yet?
This is a very big thing, because it should be something that you know, but you can't be sure.
Yeah.
My quick answer is I played warmer, colder. Do you know when you play with a little child and you hide something and you say, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer, oh, you're getting colder, you're getting colder? That's what I did. I like music, but I don't want to perform.
Okay.
I like teaching, but I'm not sure about this. I like this, I like that, but now I'm getting, this is making me feel warmer.
All right, good. Very good advice. Again, she's having a book signing and encouraging words this Saturday the 7th. 11 to 2.
Yes.
But hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Mike, Maddog Magnotti, Eleanor,
Thank you very much for having me.
You have a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.